Today's one of them loosey-goosey videos where I'm just going to walk and talk and we're just going to shake and move and you're in or you're out. Boom! Oh, so you can see right along the edge of the cornfield here, I got a little bit of a clover patch, or what was planted as clover, but it's about 50-50 grass clover mix. And I want to clean this up a lot because exactly where I'm standing is where I'm going to put a hunting blind. And, you know, they'll just filter out of the corn and eat the clover as long as there's clover there to eat. Grass don't feed deer, and deer don't eat grass. So, yeah, I got to get this squared away. And let me show you what I'm using and how I'm doing it. All right, so what I got here is I got the Grass Out Max. And there's something on the market called Arrest, and this was double the strength. Good job, Eddie. Way to do the legwork and look it up. And then here's the surfactant. That's just the stuff that makes this stuff stick to the grass. So I'm going to add a little bit of this. If you do buy this stuff, I'm not sponsored by them. Read the book as to how much you should add per gallon, and I'll go from there. You don't want to know how much I put in. And I'll be using a 5-gallon backpack sprayer to apply it. No, I will not be filming myself spraying with a 5-gallon backpack sprayer, but you get the idea. Well, I'm slowly introducing the 2 and some odd days old chicks to the raggedy leghorns. And usually these are the aggressive guys. They're small hens. They're for egg purposes only, 4 or 5 pounds tops. And she just ripped into one, and I mean, it wasn't good. But that's how they learn. You know, they're not going to be able to mess with the chicks. Again, chickens don't know age, they know size. And those chicks are small. Well, and here's the chicks' first free range. They are 2 weeks and 2 days old, so call it 16 days or whatever. And there's McCormick. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on him because even though she can beat the crap out of the other hens, I'm not sure what she could do to him. Make him miserable enough that he probably doesn't want to be around her, but he might get to the chicks first. So I'm keeping an eye on him. So far, the other adult birds are being fairly considerate. The rooster hasn't done anything stupid yet. And good for him, because honestly, I'm done. His services are no longer needed at this point in time. And there he did do something. About one more of them, he's going to lose his head today. Now, I'm out here the next day after spraying, and the only thing that looks remotely affected, which by the way, the next day, and nothing should really look affected, is the clover. The very stuff I'm trying to save is the stuff that's currently affected within, I don't know, 36 hours. And the grass doesn't even look touched. I'm a little perplexed. Look at this. Look at this clover. That's the max out. I mean, I'm not even seeing. I mean, I don't know. You know, maybe it's because I'm not waiting long enough. I'll give it a week. Oh yeah, I'll give it a week and hit it again. But the only thing I'm seeing dying is what I want living. Well, here's a sweet corn update. Some of you saw the video where I actually planted this. I usually put it in 25 to 28 inch spacing so I can get the push mower up through here. I also went and threw straw in between the rows. It kept it pretty weed free. It is weedy within the row itself, but it's still producing. I mean, you can see here we got, you know, we're tasseled up. We got silk coming in on the top one, and then we got 2 bottom ones. So a lot of these have 3 ears per stalk, you know, and then there's ones that just have 1 ear. So it's about a 2-ear average, I would safely say. But I'm pretty satisfied with it. Some of the better sweet corn that I've grown, and that's because of the conditions we've had, and some of my effort. But a lot of it had to do with the conditions. Get a lot of water hemp in here and lambs quarters. There is some grass too, but yeah, that's the old sweet corn update. And I figure this stuff will be ready about the 10th of August, 72 days from planting date. Yeah, there we got silk there. And the deer are gonna put a beat down on your sweet corn, it's going to be when it's in silk like that. They like to come and bite the end of that silk off. It must be real sweet tasting to them, or nutritious, or both. It could be a number of things. And for those of you that don't know a lot about corn, this is the silk, and each strand, you can see a strand there, represents a kernel on the cob. So this pollinates each strand, or let's just call them silk hairs, and then it goes down into the cob itself, and there you go. So if you ever get cobs that are missing kernels, it's because one of these little silk hairs didn't get pollinated from the tasseling. We're tasseled up pretty good, and you know, I got field corn over here, and I know I mentioned this in a previous video, but if you're watching this for the first time, let me show you what went on here. Okay, sweet corn patch, it's east of field corn, and you get field corn pollinating your sweet corn and it's not going to taste good. We have predominantly west winds here, so that's going to take it from here to there. So if anything, I'm going to have sweet corn pollinating my field corn, which whatever at that point in time. But let's check out the field corn here, see how we're doing. We'll look at these outer rows on the way out, but we'll go on the inside here. And we're looking at, oh, I don't know, some of this stuff's 8 feet tall anyways, and I just broke something. That ain't good. It's what happens when you're as fat as I am. But, oh yeah, that stuff's guide. Yeah, it's a good 8 feet anyways. And, oh, nice thick stalk. I mean, that's easily as big as my wrist right there, halfway up it. But anyways, so here we go. We got, you know, this started to silk, and the deer, what happened was you had a good-sized deer come and bite that silk off. That's not what you want. You want to make sure this silk gets out and gets pollinated, and then look down in. So yeah, this is going to be a 2-ear stalk, you know. And then here we go. We got this going on, but up here the tassel hasn't come out yet. But there's other tassels that have come out, and going from there. So, and I let the weeds grow up in between here. I don't really care. Could take a backpack sprayer in here and grow it. And a lot of people are like, well, I want to control as many weeds as I can because that produces seeds for next year. And to a degree, that is true. You will minimize your weed growth for the following years and this and that. But I do assure you that there are millions and millions and millions of seeds in that ground, and you will never ever eliminate seeds in your ground, weed seeds that is. So yeah, this is some tall stuff here. You come in a little deeper, and I got some suckers, you know, growing next to it where it dropped it irregularly. So coming through here, I don't really care if I break it. Let's check out another. You can see this was where a wide row, it never canopied, so you let the grass get, oh, I don't know, it's probably good 2 feet tall, 2-3 feet tall, some spots. But check it here. We got 1, 2. Okay, that's a 2-ear stalk, no big deal. And that tassel's not out yet either. Some of it is, some of it isn't. You know, let's walk down a little bit. Yep, that's another 2-ear. All right, so we got that flapped over, and show you a little case in point here. When that silk turns color like that, it's pollinated. Where it came from, I don't know, but there's a lot of this stuff that is tasseled. You see this is, I mean, that's, you know, what you call a dirty row, but we can go in further and you'll see it's clean as a whistle. You know, where you had canopy, that was by design. Weaseling in and out of here. Sheesh Louise. All right, so here's one it's got 1, 2, and then a 3rd ear coming in. You know, sometimes the third ear's beefy and bulky like the rest of it. Sometimes it's not, but either way, it's all produced in 2 and 3 years. And that's not bad, because this is corn I threw in late. I planted this May 21st. And because I got it in what I consider late for corn, even though it was only a week later or 10 days late, I still considered it late. And you know, it was 90 day, so I don't consider that too bad. 90 days like a step up from insilage corn. And then you got 2 here and nothing else growing on it, so that's a 2 ear stalk. All right, here's, yeah, these 2 are growing like right on top of each other, but this is going to have, this looks like it wants to have 3 and 2, so the two buddies are going to produce 5 ears there. So yeah, that's what's going on. This is just a 90-day corn patch. I planted this May 21st. We're tasseled, we're silked, and I look for this to be fully mature, not bone dry, but fully mature right around August 21st, 22nd. And then, I don't know, probably 6 weeks after that, it should be right around 17-18% moisture. Oh, the 400, here it is, and here we are. And I got 2B stone here. I put dirt under here. This kind of had a bowl effect right here, and so I put dirt in, leveled it, got the stone in here, leveled it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and build a lean-to off the side of this little barn here, and I'm going to come out, oh, I don't know, about 14 feet. I'll take 16-foot 2x4s, come out here on 4x4s, and I'll have 14 foot of space in here, and that's 30 foot long, so it'll be a 14 by 30 lean-to. And man, have I been using the crap out of this. Told somebody the other day, they're like, how's that 400 running? Man, I saw your video. I'm like, this tractor don't know about that video, because it's the best starting tractor on the farm. It really is. I turned that key. Now the electrical isn't done yet and stuff like that, but man, I turned that key and it's now. So I'm pretty happy with it. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's not supposed to work fields. It's supposed to lift stuff up, level stuff off, and go from there. But then I'm going to come around the backside here, and I had a bunch of firewood here, and you saw in one of the videos, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. If you didn't, go to my playlist, my Farmall 400 playlist, and check it out. I was lifting some pretty good stuff out of here, and this is just rough move, but I wasn't overly comfortable getting that close to the building, so some of this stuff I'm just going to pull the loader in and hand toss it in there. No, I'm not going to have you watch me do it. So yeah, and I don't know, that's what appears to be a back door. So I might cut a hole in that, just build an addition room off here and make it like a, level it off and turn it into a tool room. Or I might level this off and, I don't know, just put something simple in here, like a carport, just to back stuff under, back equipment under, keep it out of the rain, keep it out of the water, and you don't have any problems. Yeah, and this is the time of year I'm a real avid archery hunter, and this is the time of year I usually throw a trophy rock down in just one camera. And you know, if you run it for a couple weeks, you got pretty much all the deer on it. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of you guys that watch my videos are absolutely not into deer hunting. I get it, man. Just like I get somebody that's not into bowling. But I am. I love archery hunting. I just do, especially for big mature bucks. But big mature bucks are a rare commodity in these parts of the states. And that's because we're real heavily hunted. And most of the, what I want to call legal bucks, which is anything with 3 points up on one side of its head, get shot at 1 and 2 years old. So you never get your bucks to 3 and 4, but we do pass them down here. We just do. You can see there's a corn wall there, and then some rough soybeans, rough looking soybeans there. Those are 2-1s, so they're fast maturing. And I don't know, let's walk out there and see if they're, what stage they're in. I know they're at least in R1, because in the other fields I saw flowering, and they were planted within the week. So, and those were later maturing beans. Oh yeah, Yeah, you can see the deer have nipped them. When they're nipped high, that's deer. When they're cut low to the ground, that's woodchuck. And woodchucks are a major problem around here too. Soybeans, just talk to anybody that tries to grow them. And oh yeah, we're in R1. Definitely in R1. When 40% of the field is in a stage, it's considered that stage. So I'm telling you right now, we're all flowered, and I guarantee it's over that. But yeah, we're flowered up, and we're going to produce some tonnage here. And there is some weed growth in this, but I didn't feel like respraying. Once you start to flower and you get into that R1 and you respray it, I think you end up losing more bushels than you'll ever save. But yeah, back to talking about archery hunting. The one thing I've noticed in archery, especially for a mature, highly pressured deer, and they're not highly pressured here, and they know that because we just don't do it. And you have to post your property, and you'll find out who your friends are pretty quick as soon as you post, because those same people that were kissing your butt don't even talk to you anymore because they know you're not going to let them hunt and fish your property. I don't really care. I mean, most guys that want to fish, I tell them yes, you know, it ain't no big deal, but not close to season. Just can't happen. And got a lot of raisins here. Remember, I took my son hunting. He was 12 years old, and I got on the other side of the raisin pile there, and he was on this side, and I says, well, one thing you're not going to be able to convince me is that you don't like raisins, so you go ahead. And man, I stood there and harassed him for, probably 10 minutes over that raisin pile. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, here's my Cornwall Jackson. And then there you go. And yep, the biggest problem you'll have is neighbors. And the worst neighbor to have is the guy that owns a house and an acre and thinks he owns and can go at wherever he can see, he can go. And man, these beans are tall right here. I didn't realize they were that tall. I bet they're almost sternum high on me. But there's a guy that lives in a house over there, through the woods, not far, about a half mile that way. And he was last year's trespasser, so I'll have another one this year. It's become commonplace for me to you know, post and have a guy walk by 10 of my signs and then expect me to do nothing about it. Most of them don't know me. They didn't grow up with me. If you did grow up with me, you probably know I'm not a shit taker. Yeah, if you were an older kid, you know, and I was a freshman or something, you got to pick on me, well, good on you. But trust me, by the time I was a senior, you weren't going to do it, type of deal. And I carry that through with life. I just don't take shit. I set my mind up to something, and you're not gonna steal from me, you know. And this is just something I live for. I live for farming, I live for Farmall, and I live for archery hunting. Yeah, you know, back to this camera, and I'll pull this card out of here. Used to be in the old days, you know, I used to pull cards, pull camera cards, and I'd put them on Facebook or wherever, and go from there. But it's not good, man. You don't want to advertise your deer. And I know there's a guy up the road that runs cameras. I don't know why he does it. I mean, if there was a state record here, he wouldn't be allowed to hunt them. And that's not because I don't like him. It's just I don't want the competition. You know, I just don't need the competition. So you got to find your own place, man. You just do in life. And find a place you're welcome, and you'll be a lot happier in the end.